Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. With me, I'm Scott. In case you're new here and you don't know my name, I'm Scott Yates. And I have Honey waiting in the wings. She's going to come in real quick. I wanted to let you guys know that I am available for private readings. Make sure I got my volume turned down a little. There we go. And let's see, I want to share my screen because I want to show you my website real quick. All right, so if you want a reading with me, you can come here to my website and first read the important information you'll need to know. I am sharing the screen, right? And you might want to read the testimonials that some clients have sent me. I've got a few here. I'm gathering more, but there's one here I got from Serena the White Witch. And Serena makes soaps, and she puts healing energy into them. And you can find her on Facebook at Serena Soaps. She's trying to get out of the 3D world, and if you could help her out purchasing some soaps from her, that would be great. But I had my first reading with her back on June 19th. She says, I had a reading with Scott on June 19th. Scott is the most kind and personable person. He is down to earth and very easy to talk to. He makes you feel at home. He is very intuitive while reading the cards. He brought up things that I'd already thought about, so it confirmed quite a lot for me. The first card spread that he did brought up a traumatic experience that has affected me greatly. My little Shih Tzu passed away last August, 2023. Scott's advice has helped me to understand that she is happy and in Summerland, which is ironic because her name is Summer. I know in my heart that Scott's kind words will help me with the grief. I feel a sense of relief already. My reading was life-changing. Thank you, Scott, so much. When I hear something like this, life-changing, that just really warms my heart so much. You guys don't even know. I highly recommend you book a reading with Scott. He's truly a miracle worker. I'll take that with a grain of salt. With the cards, I'm excited to book another appointment in the future, Serena. All right, so I thank you very much for that, Serena. And that's it. Now I'm going to welcome Honey in. Honey, unmute your mic and come in and say hello. And
Hi.
let me change the speaker from speaker to gallery. Hey,
Can y'all hear
I'm
me?
feeling great today, honey. How about you?
There's Alisa. I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, Elizabeth.
hi, Alisa.
Hello. Hello, honey.
Hi.
It's so good to see us together. Wow, this is great.
Yes,
I've been
Mhm.
looking forward
this
to it
is
all day.
fun.
Yes, yes, it is.
All right. So before we get into the tangential, transcendental, tang
Transcendental.
transcendental, I was practicing this conversation that we're going to have today, and this could go in any direction. We're just three three friends having a chat. But before we get into that, honey, I need to talk to you about our last meeting. Uh,
Right.
so we were going along, and I don't think you've ever asked me to do a reading for the cards during our lives. And and last week or 2 weeks ago, last time you were on with me, you said, "Oh, Scott, I have a question for the cards," and I'm like, my ears perked up, and I thought maybe you're going to ask me about, I don't know, like the mundane things that people ask me about in their ordinary lives, because I thought that would be cool coming from you, but you instead you asked me, do source gods or do was it source creator gods have soul families? And immediately my left brain started ticking away because my nickname is Plato. Right? It's a trail name that I picked up on the Appalachian Trail, and I got that name because I'm a philosopher. I'm a self-taught philosopher. I have been studying this stuff for my whole life. And I thought, oh, great. But then tarot cards are totally left-brained and intuitive. But I thought, okay, I've never done a question like this for the card, so let's see, what do I get? And I did the typical spread that I would normally do, the 7 cards in a Kachina knife spread. But here's a problem. The first problem I have with that is that spread is based on past, present, and future. Well, source creator God has no past, present, or future because it exists outside of time. It created time, right? And so I'm confused because I don't know where the cards should lie. Where what do they mean if there is no past, present, and future? But then I focused in on the card that came out as the outcome card, which is one of the most important places, and that card was this, the Empress.
Okay.
Okay. So the Empress is the representative of the source creator God. She's the number 3 in the tarot, and that would be the number of source creator God, like the Trinity from the Bible, right? The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You have to have 3 in order to have the ability to make a multiplicity of creation. And if you want to learn more about this, go back and look at the video that I did about soul traps, and I tried to explain this from my point of view. And by the way, this is my personal philosophy that I've developed over years of taking from many different sources and putting together along with my intuition and other things. All right. So you start with the number 1, the singularity, which is everything, everywhere, all at once, and really is amorphous, and it's just one. It's the great I am, right? And then it creates a second part of itself, 2. And then you have duality, but from duality, you can only have a conversation between the 2 things. You need one more, 3. And that's where you get the Trinity, and from there you can create the multiplicity of all things. Okay, so that's why she came up at the base of that spread. Then next to her was the only other um, major arcana in the spread, and that was death.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't have life without death. Somebody asked me this the other day, and this is my own personal philosophy. If you guys disagree, great, you can explain why. But life really has no meaning without death. Somebody told me that the other day that in after ascension we'll be immortal. No, I don't believe that we'll ever be immortal unless you're, the source creator God, because it's the end of life that gives life meaning. All right, and that's a really deep thing. You have to go into it more. Uh, okay, and the other thing with death. Okay, death showed up next to the Empress. Once again, this is my own personal philosophy. The source creator gods are like that's a single universe, and we have a multiplicity of universes, and each one of them has their own source creator god. But just like wavelengths of light or octaves of sound, the 2 can never mix. This is why the answer that I gave you, and that's why death came up, because death is like this barrier that can't be crossed by the living, right? Well, normally, I mean, you understand, it's like this barrier.
Mhm.
So each one of those source creator God trinities is individual and cannot interact with the other source creator God trinities. But there are infinite numbers of those. And then, honey, did you watch the film I sent you on infinity yet?
Yeah, I tried. It was terrible.
It's hard, isn't it? But did you get to the part maybe a little bit more than or a little bit less than halfway through where it says that there are infinities within infinities?
No, but I believe that. Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, this blew my mind while I'm watching this. And that's kind of what we have with the source creator gods. They're infinite, and then there are other infinities within those infinities. And this is why I said in that during that show that 2 weeks ago that it's like trying to zoom in on a fractal, right?
Mm.
They go infinitely inward and infinitely outward, but there's always this space that's separating each different infinity. Okay, so I hope I explained that as well as I thought I did, and uh, and that was really cool, honey. Like I said, that's why I don't know. I don't watch myself in old videos. I just can't stand going back and watching myself. But if you watch that show, you can see the gears in my head just burning as I was trying to figure that out. Oh, and by the way, the other five cards that were in that spread were just like clutter. You could think of them as the individual parts that make up the whole, but I had to zero in on just the two major arcana, which were the Empress and the Death card, and that's where I came up with the answer that soul force source creator gods are individual, and each one is not aware of the other one. All right, honey, what do you think about my explanation?
I think, well, mostly I agree with it. So,
Good. I'd like to
Alisa
hear.
and I were actually probably in the same show that I did years ago. And it had a big golden shield. So it was something that I downloaded from Higher Self. And there were multiple sources attached to this shield, and each source had a different resonance, so a
Mm-hmm.
different frequency. And I don't believe it was the multiverse. I believe it was different multiverses because
Mm-hmm.
our universe was by itself, and it was basically turning from a muddy aqua color, so like a muddy ocean, to a bright blue green ocean. So the
Mm-hmm.
frequency was changing
I
and
see.
getting cleaned up. Um, and I think that they know about each other, but they don't interact.
Yes,
So
I
I
agree.
do think, yeah, they know that they exist, that others exist, but they don't interact with each other. Because if they did, then they wouldn't be able to have their own experience.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right.
But it, it goes against the whole there's only one total. That, you know, so that's why I brought it up in the first place.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I started thinking about this over 30 years ago. It was one of the things that came up when I was doing my philosophical thoughts. I put together a club of really, really smart guys. I called it the Philosophers Club, and this was one of the things that discussed because I was very much into a religion at that time, the Seventh-day Adventists. And the Ten Commandments, I think the first commandment is there's only one God, and you will have no other gods above me.
Mhm.
But my question to my friends was, well, what if there are other gods, but we just can't know them? And so I looked down this place where you're not supposed to as a Christian, and what if there are other gods? And I came to the conclusion that there must be other gods. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I plugged my website, and so how, Elisa, you want to unmute? You can come in and
Hi,
Yes, I was.
Lisa.
Hello, hello, and hello, everybody.
hi.
I like
How are you?
what you were describing. I mean, it gives me a good sense of what your perspective of it is and stuff like this here. And I think that the multi is like the way I see it. It's like the Mandelbrot. It just keeps going.
Hmm.
It
What
never
was that?
stops. Infinite. The Mandelbrot.
It's familiar to me. I can't.
Like
quite a,
it's
It's
a
like a
fractal.
fractal going within a
oh,
fractal,
oh,
going within a
the,
fractal.
right, the, yeah.
Right, and it's infinite, but each
Mm,
branch off of it is still infinite as well, you know?
right.
Mhm.
So, I
The
mean, it's
infinity
the
within the
multi-thing.
infinity.
Yeah. So, I mean, it goes along with what you were saying there.
That's
And
right. That's what I
as
was
far as the energies and stuff and talking about immortality and stuff like this here, I agree with the fact that, you know, without death, you know, you can't have the true experience. It's that border, you
That's
know,
right.
it is a border.
Mhm.
But since we are in the photon belt, whenever the dome comes down, we do get that type of immortality because we'll be there for 2,000 years, you know.
Mhm.
But once we come out of it, you know, then the whole routine of going into bodies, experiences, and so forth, you know, happens again because it is a cycle and it is a cycle spiraling up, even if it's in different bodies, you
Yeah.
know. So without the closure of that experience, you can't go forth to the next one, so to speak. So
Right.
even those beings that, you know, I've come across that, you know, like they can live 800 years or 1,000 years and stuff like this here, they still seem to have a limit, you know. It's not like immortality. There is a
Yeah.
limit in there somewhere. So, but yeah, but while we're not in bodies, we do have that sense of immortality. But how long that
Mhm.
lasts, it only lasts until we get into the next body. And then we have to play by the rules, so to speak. So,
Yep. I totally agree. Because
mhm.
you won't have the next experience if you're not willing to let go of the one you're in.
Right. And which brings me to a question that several people wanted me to ask you, honey, is that you, whenever you had talked about the Mount Meru, could
Mhm.
you please let people know that that cycle, that whole thing has been taken care of?
Well, the reincarnation wheel is gone.
Right.
Um, and that was a big white, not a real crystal, it was a man-made crystal, but it was like selenite is what it looked like.
Mhm.
But it wasn't actually selenite, it was created. And that's been taken down 2021, I think the beginning of the year it was taken down.
Mhm.
As far as like Mount Meru, that's outside of the next ice wall.
Mhm.
So that is where real reincarnation happens. Like that's where you go and you see your movie and you know where you're going next and what you're doing and you make decisions and stuff.
Right.
But that's a genuine place where this other thing was created for more negative purposes,
Right.
which
So,
can be seen in the Wheel of Time. So if you guys are really curious about it, there's a show on Amazon called The Wheel of Time, and you
Mhm.
can watch that.
It's
okay.
on, oh, it's on Amazon?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
and
that's the reincarnation wheel they're talking about.
yeah. And just for a quick reference, because there was several people that asked about the movie that
Oh,
you made reference to, seeing
I
the
remember.
core inside of Gaia, and that was the core. Everybody, it was called the core. So you can
Yeah,
go look it up now, and I don't have to answer it, you know, 15, 20 times in it on the comments and stuff, but it is called the core. So,
I
yeah, and I
remember that.
did show it in one show. I can't remember which. I think it's on Rumble.
okay.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
show, Wheel of Time now. Not a great show,
Mhm.
but there was a bunch of
No,
disclosure in it, wasn't there?
The
Uh,
movie
yeah.
that Brandon Fraser did, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, when he got
yeah,
there, it
Mhm.
was loaded with crystals as well. So
yeah,
that's a good one to go
Yeah,
watch too. So it
and
actually has
it's
a little
more
bit of
fun.
humor.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That is a
Yeah,
fun
it's
one.
more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, honey, it was in that show we did about the this reincarnation wheel being broken that I first got this concept that even souls have lifespans, beginnings, middles, and ends. Up until then, I did, I always thought of a soul as being eternal.
It depends. So a lot of souls have chosen not to heal during this whole like ascension of the universe. So a lot of souls that were too traumatized, they didn't want to let go of polarity.
Mhm.
They actually went back to be with God's source and to go back to pure energy. So there are souls that did that. Now, I do think that eventually a soul may choose to go back and start over, but it probably happens when there's a big ascension point. I don't think it's like random. Feels like it's more
Yeah.
like when everything changes.
Right.
And there were several that decided not to go forward.
Right.
So that's a rare thing, I think, too,
Mhm.
for and when I say soul, I'm talking about the oversoul. Uh, it's I told you that in my mind's eye, I see my oversoul as like this,
Yeah.
as a gem, and
Mm.
each facet is
Mm-hmm.
a different timeline, a life timeline.
Mhm.
And of course, this one's in 3D, but the one that's in the astral plane is more like the tesseract. It's a multiple dimensions.
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, Vivian asked a question. We are going to get to your questions, but we're going to continue this part of the conversation for another 10 minutes or so, or we'll intermittently we'll go back and look at questions and continue the conversation. Okay, so we will get to your questions, everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn
Yeah.
more about the photon belt from Alisa, if that's okay.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Well, what would you like to know?
First, I'd like to know, like, physically where it is and how we're moving through it. I'm wrapping my head around the idea that the Earth can be flat and also traveling through space at the same time. Um,
Mhm.
uh,
Well, I mean, there's not
yeah,
just one particular geometric shape. There is
yeah,
actually other geometric
right.
shapes, yeah,
Mhm.
that actually exist on their dimension or their frequency, But this particular one here is where they're round, and it goes along with what you just showed there.
The
But
dodecahedron.
yeah. So if you could take the cover off of it, you would pretty much see that geometrical shape to it,
Hmm.
and I mean, I know that probably quite a few of us that are watching can't remember what a record player is, you know, and think of that and have it spinning, but on just in the centers and out, put like donuts there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And it's a pretty wide
Mhm.
thing. And as it turns, it goes through this photon belt. I see it as a galactic car wash, galactic star wash. Every
Oh,
star has to go through it, and it kind of like cleanse it up if they graduate it and so forth. It's like the graduation at the end of college or whatever. And then there's the one on the other side, because it goes by waves, which is the one that we're in. The wave is going up, and on the opposite side, the wave goes down.
that's right.
Okay, on the other side, it's kind of like you get your it's like a summer break, and then you pick up everything you need to have to make the adventure for the when you pop out, then you can finish and come around. But the whole point is, to get to the photon belt, and that's graduation. Okay. And all these stars that are above us, beside us, and behind us, and everything has already hit the photon belt, and it is 2,000 light years across. Okay. And it is ultimate light. It's like heaven, but it's a piece of heaven because each galaxy has one, but yet there's a whole bigger one than it. Okay. But in that photon belt, it's kind of like all the dimensions can mix. You can talk to everything that's 5D and up, because whenever we're here at 4D, we look up and we can't see anything because we're in this here realm. But whenever you're 5, 6, and so forth, you can actually see things above you in a sense. Okay.
Mhm.
And you can see the next floor up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. But we can go and do and be anything that we want because we graduated, especially those that came here to help. We're helping those who finally making it to that point to have that big celebration, but we're the pros that came in to help them get to that point so that whenever the pros, so to speak, get done with the missions and stuff, then they'll want to go back to wherever they were with their families, their worlds, and stuff like this here, because there is a lot of 6th and 7th and 8th dimensional beings that are here incognito, so I do know that they're going to go home afterwards, but in the photon belt, we can actually go to their home and they can can come to ours, the new 5D Earth. That's the reason why I've been making these here song videos and putting pictures out for people to see. There's going to be so many different beings. It's going to be a lot of traffic. That we'll have access to, and it's fascinating that all the different beings, the diversity of them and so forth. But the good thing is that all of it's positive. Okay, so because you are in a piece of heaven, therefore no negativity and no badness can enter that realm or that zone. So we're on for one heck of a ride, my brothers and sisters. I am excited for it.
So,
Mhm.
Really awesome.
Alisa, you just mentioned the music that you're making, which I think is really awesome. And honey, I've got a surprise for you.
Hmm.
This is from Alisa.
Oh, is it my song? Me and
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
I
And
love
turn
it.
it up this time. I want everybody to hear it.
Find it here.
That's so funny. I
Yeah, I
love
was
it.
definitely thinking about you, honey. And I was like, oh man, Mount Shasta. Yes.
I know. Now John and I'll have to go
All right,
together.
Honey and John Mount Shasta. You ready for this, everybody?
Honey and John went for a hike on Mount Shasta, feeling right. In the night, in the dusk, a light so bright, UFOs in their sight, hovering there like a star. Honey smiled from afar. Honey and John and a UFO on Mount Shasta, oh, oh, they could not believe their eyes. UFOs in the sky. In the dusk, a light so bright, UFOs in their sight, hovering there like a star. Honey smiled from afar. Honey and John and a UFO on Mount Shasta, oh, oh, they could not believe their eyes. UFOs in the sky. They could feel the chill of breeze as it floated amongst the trees, colors swirling like a dance. John stood there in a trance. Oh, the stories they would share of that moment, no compare. Caught something so bizarre, a UFO from the stars. Honey and John with a UFO on Mount Shasta, oh, oh, they could not believe their eyes. UFOs in the sky. They would share of that moment, no compare. Caught something so bizarre, a UFO from the stars. Honey and John with a UFO on Mount Shasta, oh, oh, they could not believe their eyes. UFOs in the sky. Stories they would share of that moment, no compare. Caught something so bizarre, a UFO from the stars. Honey and John with a UFO on Mount Shasta, oh, oh, they could not believe their eyes. UFOs in the sky.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you so much, Alisa. I just
You're
wanted to
welcome.
say to you guys, like, go to her channel and listen to all of her music. There's so much, and it's all amazing. And she's written all of those songs.
And all
Yeah.
of them are positive things. And for the songs like that one there for you, honey, I have it in its own playlist, and it is called the UFO file. So so
Oh, that's
and
fun.
do you remember whenever I was on Telegram and I was doing the thing with like the Wall Street Journal, Ice Wall Journal thing that I was doing, and I was trying to
Oh,
do it
yeah.
with of humor? Well, now this is giving me a chance to do that again, but with music. So, and I have enjoyed it very, very much. And so, yes, everybody, please come over and check out the songs. Everything's about God and loving and unity and 5D and even these funny
Mhm.
UFO songs. So please Enjoy it, my friend. Come and see it or hear it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Loved
So
it.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hey, does John like it? Did he like it?
Yes, he was like, I don't understand for a minute. He couldn't understand what was happening. He did love it though.
Good.
Yes. So are you showing us your creation there, Scott? That's pretty amazing.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's muted. You're muted.
I'm sitting here trying to talk so did you notice that the cover art for that UFO matches the colors of this mandala that I painted for this show?
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's true. It does.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a perfect one-to-one correlation, but it
Yeah.
looks really similar. And this
Yeah.
is how
Really
I know
similar.
you guys are my soul family and that we're meant to be here doing this stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
out of all of them that I have done, Honey is the only one that has a colorful UFO. So,
really. And
yeah.
and by the way, the the way I chose the colors for this mandala was based on chakras. I started with the outside being the sacral chakra or the base chakra, and I moved it inwards. And uh,
I love
so
that.
so yeah, I saw that, and that just really stuck out to me. That
Yeah.
was cool.
So
Well,
much
if
fun.
you look down on the galaxy, like a record player, if you look down on it, all the chakras start from the red and go inwards and get brighter, except they're actually bubbles and they spin, and then we actually go on a spiral through each of the weather, and we go inwards, towards the core of it. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, and that's all those beautiful mandala colors. I mean, chakra colors as well. It's really pretty. That's what made me think of when I
Yeah,
seen you had done there. So.
so
Yeah,
much fun.
it's also this cool synchronicity that I was looking for some kind of hobby to do, and you brought up the mandalas, and unfortunately, it was supposed to be take me away from screens, but I ended up painting that using an app on my phone, and that's because the the pages in that book they're two-sided, and once you start painting on it, it's done. You can't take it back. So I worked out the colors that I wanted using the app, and now I plan to go out and get me some maybe watercolors or pastels or something, and go back and match the one that I did here on the actual paper. So
Well, the one that you
Mm.
have, can you actually print it out and do
I
it?
could, but that's not what I want. I want it to be from my hand onto solid paper. I want it to be in the real
No,
world.
I
I don't.
mean just like a coloring book thing that to where you can color it yourself.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I could like make a copy of it, but the paper that it's on, I think, is made especially for like you'd have to get some special art paper or something. But yeah, I could probably do that.
Yeah. So-
Fun.
and that way you can share it.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I would like to read Vivian's question here. Oh, before I begin, and I'm going to try to add the cards. Now, honey, she's
Yeah.
going to use she's going to connect with the Akashic
I got
Record.
my answer. So I'm going to let you get your answer first
Okay.
because
Well, honey, I want you to help me with the cards because that really seemed to help last time. I've shuffled these cards well, and you're going to
oh,
let me know when I should stop. Okay.
okay. Now.
Right. Got it. Okay,
That
I've
was
got
quick.
the ten of Pentacles on the bottom. So this is my intuitive insights family. Everybody who's watching now and later on the reruns, you're all part of the family. Just want you
That's
to
right.
know.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me read the question from Vivian here. Need a little help, please. Is my move for my especially my dog's high interest good? Thank you. So I'm going to reread that again. Is Oh, you understand. So go ahead. You got the answer already. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got yes.
Okay.
Mine was just simple. It just came in as yes, it is. It's for the highest good.
Yeah, and I could add something to that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera down. So this is the fact of the matter. This is a move that you're going to make. So it's almost like I think the decision's already been made. And you have to leave behind the things that you are leaving. Okay. But you have to this is a chance for you to have a new beginning. Okay. With the death card here. So you need to leave that behind, you know how you say you dust your feet off from that part of your life and you're starting a new chapter.
Mhm.
By the way, um, oh no, there's not a dog in this, but he's taking his pets with him. So I just wanted to add that one little bit of advice that what you're making this move for a reason. There's something that you have to leave behind. Don't bring any attachments of that past, whatever you're leaving, leave
Mhm.
that all behind as you bring it forward.
Yep.
Just want to notice
Mhm.
that, point out that this is an animal, so this represents your pets, your dogs, and
Mhm.
there's also a horse in this one. So it is going to be a new, it's going to be a new start for your animals as well.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. Because mine's going with me, and I still have my towel packed in a little bag to go bag so that I'm ready to walk out the door. And I'm leaving everything else behind. So
Did
now
you
just the
say
towel.
your towel?
Yeah, my
Your
beach
towel is
towel.
all you're bringing?
It's
Okay,
huge. I'm gonna take that sucker with me because I know I'm gonna go to an island.
that's
So
right.
Do you
they're
have
gonna
like
take care of everything else for me. So I'm just gonna take my animals and my towel, and of course, my
do,
son too. So
do you have your belongings wrapped in the towel and you tie it to a stick and put it on your back? Like,
well, that would be pretty cool, but my cats would probably attack it. But it is a little bag, so that shows my intent next to the door, like a gentleman that wants to be ready for his wife going to have a baby. Everything's prepped right there at the door to take with them. Well, that because they in that state of mind, that's what I'm doing. I know I'm going out that door, so it's ready, and that shows me every day as a reminder, that I'm walking out that
Mhm.
door.
that reminds me of the fool with his bag on the stick travel.
There you go.
He's got his go
He's
bag.
ready.
There you
He's
go. It goes
ready
with
for new
my
stuff.
Waldo shirt. There you go.
Okay, so I gotta let me see. I think I got something on from Buy Me a Coffee here. This is from Maria. It's funny because I removed the Buy Me a Coffee link from the description because this is the last day of the month and it's my last chance to increase my earnings on YouTube. So I was hoping to get more super chats, but this is from Maria. Okay, and she sent it in the form of coffees to me. She says, wondering if my heart issues are ascension symptoms and if I need to actually be checked again. I know you cannot give medical advice, that's right, but wondering what the universe might have to share. Thank you.
I get mostly. They're mostly ascension. And is she taking cayenne? I would definitely do that. But I would still go get checked.
And I agree with what Honey said. I don't think I ever disagree. But I would say, yeah, it is mostly ascension.
Mhm.
And yes, this is a doctor, the King of Cups. He's a doctor, and he's a good counsel. So yeah, don't ignore it. It seems like you're maybe wanting to not face this problem. The eight of swords here in the background. Maybe you're hoping it'll go away, but
Mhm.
yeah, you should. This is a doctor, and you should have it checked by a doctor. Okay.
I agree. Well, I'm getting it's like there is something there that she should go have and looked at just to cross T's and dot I's, because
Right.
ascension can cause different things in us to feel it and stuff like this here. But what was her name?
Maria. Same as
Maria. I would definitely go to a doctor But please, I wouldn't suggest walking in there and saying, I think it's ascension symptoms. So, but I would definitely, cross some T's and dot some I's just to go in there and have yourself checked and look at. Because if anything, that's going to help give you a peace of mind. So,
Totally.
Okay, now let me see. So you guys feel free to look through the chat. Like I always say, it's not
There is
mandatory.
a cool question.
let me see.
There is a cool question in there. Is there a sun in the belly of Earth?
Mm.
There's a
Kind
star.
of. Yeah. That will merge with our current sun. No,
No, not
it
the
will
merge.
not merge.
No.
But yeah,
I
I got
saw
there.
that it could
I
be,
got real quick. There is a sun above and a sun below, so I got a yes on that
Yeah.
yeah.
too.
Remember that every celestial body is a being.
hmm Yes.
So think about it that way. Like, are they going to all of a sudden become one being? No, because
Right.
they're separate beings.
hmm
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like I've said before that the stars are the males and the planets are the females. They need each
Mhm.
other in order to create this life for us to experience. So yeah. So they are kind
Yeah.
of one, if you want to call it that. They work in conjunction. So yes.
Yeah.
And let me
See the
just remind.
questions in the thingy, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. I didn't see them last time and I don't see them now. So
Oh,
You
you
have
might
to
have to
be in
refresh.
the,
oh
you have
yeah.
to be in the, yeah,
And
Okay.
you
Well,
might
it's a
have to
blonde
refresh
moment
your
caught
screen in the
live.
comments.
that's
And
okay.
let me just remind my viewers that it's not mandatory that you have to pay to get your questions answered. As you saw, we just answered. Um, it just helps us find your question a little more better. Um, so, Alisa, did you find the chat
I
in the
did.
live?
I got
Okay,
over my blonde moment. I'm okay.
okay. But I have another one here in coffees that you guys don't see. Oh, she didn't send a question, but her name's Anne, and I see a super chat from Ann Bolts here. So she says, my question is, I get tired often, lately daily. Is it other people hooked into me? My energy changes, my energy changes, or what? And you're
Yeah.
not alone.
Um,
I'm nearly narcoleptic. Like I have to go back and rewind the show that I'm watching so often because I just slept through the past 5 minutes of it.
yeah, it's really going on the last probably 4 to 6 weeks. There's a lot of that because the energies have been so massive. We've been working through all these collective traumas
Yep.
or
Hmm.
shadows, as I call them.
Hmm.
So, like the last 2 days, I had all this stuff I had to do. I did nothing. So today I finally had energy and I did like all these things one after the other.
Hmm.
So it really is just what's going on right now. Make sure you have enough minerals,
hmm Yes.
but otherwise, I would say just roll with it.
Yeah. I'm actually trying new teas, people, flower teas. So
Ooh,
I am branching out, doing something that I consider feminine, and that's flower tea. Okay. And it's
nice.
I'm gonna try. But I mean, I've heard ladies talk about the blue teas and like the dandelion and stuff like this here,
Mhm.
and how it's supposed to be good for you. I like tea, so I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna give this a try. So,
Yeah, dandelion's really good for the liver
uh,
and a lot of things actually.
well, I'm gonna get me a little teacup to use it in too. Instead of me having to use like a coffee cup, I'm gonna do something nice for myself and buy me a little teacup or something, probably from the dollar store, but it don't matter. It still looks like
There you
one.
go.
So,
So, honey, you mentioned integrating shadow selves, and I told you about the show, the new Star Wars show, Acolyte. Have you had a chance to check that out yet? So,
No,
I
I need to
I
write it
mentioned,
down because maybe you
yeah,
could send it to me so I'll remember.
it's on the Disney networks. I don't know if you have that. I don't
Oh,
use any of
no.
those. I stream all my stuff and I don't pay for it. But so if you have a way to get it, anyways, I told you that there are these keywords that keep coming up in it. In the very
Yeah.
first couple episodes, it was ascension, and then it talked about singularity, duality, and multiplicity, the power of one, the power of two, and the power of many.
Mhm.
And I'm watching it. I came up with another theme in this film. It's about two twins. One
Mm.
is following the Sith Lords, the dark side of the Force, and the other one's following the light side of the Force, and they're twins. So it's think of them as one, but they're a shadow of each other. So they're putting these themes out for us, and these
Yeah.
are affecting people on a subconscious level. Um, but if you can check that out, honey, I think you will. I'd like to see if what you make of it.
I wrote it down, so I'll see. Should we do
Yeah.
Emma's?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
You
Emma, the cat, and friends are saying, I wondered if some people from outside the dome are inside the dome lately spying or doing something else. Have I met one?
okay? Before you
So
answer, let me
go ahead.
I want to. Do, do you think she's saying are they here for nefarious reasons or are they good guys? Because they're good guys beyond the dome as well.
I
But
don't think she's sure, but it definitely does not feel nefarious.
okay, I good.
So the dome right now is a frequency. Oh,
Mhm.
that's good. The
Yeah,
sun.
definitely not.
So it's yeah, it's like a force field. It's not made of ice anymore.
Right.
So keep that in mind because we used to always talk about it and it was made of ice.
Mhm.
Right.
So the ice is gone and now we just have a frequency. And really you could think of that frequency as 4D if you want.
Mhm.
Like that's we're in 4D, we're at the top of 4D and we're graduating out of it. Because
Mhm.
really in reality we're all in the same place at once. We just don't see anybody.
Right.
We can't see them very well.
Right.
So yes, they are coming in because we're getting closer to them. So they are able to make it in. So ETs are in our realm, all that. So Scott's getting something there.
I just love the way that my cards agree with you pretty much every time, right? So, yes, outside of the dome, there is this like paradise, Garden of Eden type of place, right, with the sun. And because we are graduating into 4D and beyond, they are traveling here to observe, right?
Mhm.
And see the progression with these guys. So I just love the way that came up.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So
there's
fun.
so many different races and stuff that's outside the dome watching us like, we're the show. And got
Hmm.
to get your popcorn ready kind of thing because they have been watching us and observing. And that doesn't count all the ones that actually came inside the dome during the eclipse. But this is such a major deal that there's so many watching to see the outcome of this. And just spoiler alert, we win. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
whoa.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Should we do the next one?
Yes.
So Stacy says, I'm getting lots of orb activity in my house.
Mhm.
Are they wanting to communicate with me? If so, how should I communicate? Channel, pendulum, etc. I would do whatever you're comfortable with. They
Yeah.
feel like friends. So
Mhm.
whatever you feel the most confident in is what I would do to try and communicate with them.
Right, because they're coming to you because you're like a magnet, and that's something that they
Hmm.
understand. They come to that energy, so they're there for a reason. They're there for you to either observe, communicate with, or take pictures and stuff like this here. But that it is there for you. So,
Hmm.
And guys, Stacy Marr is a longtime moderator of mine, and she helps me out a lot, keeps me straight when I get things wrong. She lets me know. But she's also a Reiki master, and her information is in the description, and I'd like you to check that out if you could.
Hmm. So Sally sent money too, and she has a question down below that.
Oh, okay. You found that?
Yeah,
Okay.
please can you detect where my neck trimmer and hand trimmers are coming from?
Mm.
I mean, I can see it, and I'm not a doctor, but I can see it in the neck towards the top. But there's also some wear going on there. So I would make sure it's in place and then also do some things for the myelin. So I recently read about something for the myelin and do your own research. But it
First, can
was
you tell us what
lines.
myelin is, honey, for those who don't
Oh,
know? I
the
think I know, but
myelin is it's the sheath. So you have a nerve and it's the sheath that goes over the nerve to protect the nerve. So I'm getting so anyway, what I read about was lion's mane, niacin, the kind that makes you flush, and then microdosing at the same time.
Right.
And that will help the myelin. But if you can only get a hold of the lion's mane and the niacin, then I would do that.
by the way,
Yep.
I'm getting a new order of the fungi for that microdosing. It's going to be here tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Cool. Tell us what you see when you get it. Okay.
So you can't put this. I plan on doing a mega dose, and you can't put that into words.
No.
There's no
That's so
language.
funny.
There's no language for it. It's just an experience, and it's wonderful, and everybody should try it. Well, maybe not everybody,
So
but
yeah.
Well, I can answer
Mojo's mama. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
for Marlene Fields. She said, at my house, we're having 3 rabbits in our yard, wondering if it's the energy of the yard or our oak tree. What do we think? Well, I definitely think it's the energy. Animals are getting more comfortable because they don't feel threatened, so they're wanting to come towards us. Even, I have a friend of mine, her name is Joyce. Hey, Joyce. She has these ducks that are coming towards her and nesting around her, which is very, very odd for them to do. But it is the energy. It's like I said, we're magnets, and these things are start coming towards us, and another lady was talking about, I think a coyote that came out and it kept acting like something was wrong, but she kept her distance. And I said, well, it's there because it wants you to see it. But they're drawn to us now because we have a more positive energy and they feel safer. It might take baby steps, but at least they're doing it. So thank you, Marlene.
Yeah.
yeah. And I drew an empress for you. What was her name, Alisa?
Marlene Fields.
Marlene, you are radiating this this Mother Nature energy, and
Mhm.
this is attracting them to you.
Right.
And you might start seeing even more than just the 3 rabbits. So
Right.
keep an eye out. You
Right.
might be getting
People's been experiencing that with birds too. So that's pretty cool.
It is. So Mojo's mama says, what do you feel the doctor will do regarding my possible sinus infection? I mean, I get antibiotics. So what will they do? Probably that. But if you can, see a naturopathic doctor. That's what I would do. Oh, and Bonnie Lucas has a question. I don't know where that's at.
can I add something into this? And I'm learning, honey, to maybe trust more my intuition. And something came to me when she said that. There's this thing people do where they flush their sinuses with water, but colloidal. Have you seen that? Like you can take this tube and you can blow it into your nose. So colloidal silver in the form of water. Try flushing your sinuses with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually did get salt washed, but I didn't say it because the
Oh,
doctor's not going to
good.
say that.
You can
Yeah.
try a Sia. too.
I did that and almost drowned myself, but now I know how to do it because I was like, I didn't know what, because I went to drop it back in there and didn't realize. I felt like I was that congested, but it was just swollen and it was, I could still get water in there. And I damn near choked myself. I got over
What a way to
it.
go if you drown yourself on dry land, right?
Ain't no lie, huh? And hi, Joyce. No.
So Bonnie says, can you tell me how to best interact with my brother? As we are selling mom's house where he lives, he seems panicked about it and doesn't know where to go. So the first thing that came in was look into low-income housing for him, help him find a place to live. That's what I'm getting. Look into different places to help him. I feel like he's been there a really long time. He's quite attached.
Hmm. It's funny that you use that exact word because I pulled the devil, and this is an attachment to that place, and it is going to be very difficult for him to leave there. But eventually he's going to come to terms with it and
Mhm.
I think break that attachment. And it might even be like something unhealthy. Honey, is there something with that house, that land that's unhealthy for him? And actually breaking away from it will allow him to temperance.
Yeah, I mean, he's stuck. He's like stuck in a cycle there. Is it? I mean, I don't see it as demonic or anything. It
No,
just
no,
feels like
that's
he's
not what
stuck.
the
Yeah.
devil means. It's an
Yeah, no,
attachment.
I know. Yeah.
That's why I'm pointing out the chains that are being holding him
Hmm.
there. And actually it might be holding back his progression in some way. And so this might actually be a really good thing for him.
Yeah. I feel like it will. He'll be more free. Um, so a state of bliss is asking for a pulse for the summer from the cards.
A pulse.
Yeah, like what is the summer gonna bring?
Okay, let me do a Kachina knife spread on that.
Okay. Do you want Alisa and I to answer this next question while you're doing that?
Yeah, that would be great. In fact, I'll go ahead.
Okay. So Alisa, this is from Vivian. Alisa told me I came from the Tellurians, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Not sure if that's
Glory.
spelled correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Yes.
want to know more about that, more
Uh,
about the Tellurians.
da, da, da. Absolutely. Do, do, do. All right. The Tellurians is what they are called. They are human-like, but they're pale. I haven't seen one that has like a flesh tone color. It's more of a pale color. But they don't look like they're albinos or anything like that because they do have, colored eyes, and their hair is different colors as well.
Mhm.
They actually have 6 fingers and 6 toes. Okay, and they are masters of education, and that is the schools, the structures, the coordination of it, what's going to be taught, not just in healing centers, but actually in real history of what has happened here, not just on a regular basis, because we have, what we should have learned is just reading, writing, arithmetic, right? But they added all this other crap to go along with it to confuse us. But the new educations that the Tellurians are bringing to us, and they're working in conjunction with the Tartarians. They kind of like the Tartarians are the middle guys for all of these people because they're easier to come to us and make contact because they look very
Mhm.
human. But the Tellurians is bringing in the new type of education and how we're going to go about doing it. And that's the truth of the solar system that needs to be taught, and the worlds that are here. And especially, like with Gaia, the true kind of history going forwards so that we don't make the same mistake and not teach our children, so to speak. But we're going to be educated
Mhm.
by these teachers as well. But the new generations that are coming in, it's going to be easy for them. It's just a gap between the newborn and us that we have to retrain them, reteach us. So, and they're going to be a big help with that. But they are very benevolent beings. And was there anything else that she needed to know? But I mean, that's pretty much the
No,
information
that was
that I
it. She just wanted to know more about them. So I'm assuming she's probably going to be helping with that in some way.
I have a question for you, Elise, on that.
Okay.
Do you think that I can't say the name of that group? Were they Tellurian?
Tellurians.
Yeah,
Do you think do you
Torah.
think do you think they're the ones who inspired or maybe put it into Terrence Howard to come up with this new way of looking at elements and going from the rigid, square elemental table to this flowing curved one? You understand what I mean?
No, he has another kind of contact that's coming
Okay.
to him that he's giving this information, but it's actually the race that he is tied to, as he was that before he came here, and that's how much knowledge that he has inside of his
Okay.
DNA. And some of it, because he's remembering it, he gets it out, but there's so much more. But it's not part of the Tellurians. So, and
Okay.
Tellurians is pretty
No.
much boots on the ground kind of education stuff. But even the quantum mechanics and everything else, the Tellurians has actually have been helping the Tartarians and the Palladians with this new quantum financial system that we have, because
Yep.
they're educators, they're masters at math, quantum things, and history. There is a variety of them, just like there's a variety of teachers in the schools. But to me, they're all the Tellurians, and they're working together with the Tartarians and the Palladians to have accomplished this task. Yeah.
Okay. I have the answer for Sherry. She's a state of bliss.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing first.
Yes.
So
Okay.
everybody go look at Russ Kaiser's answer about the myelin, because that's an important factor, and I don't want to say it in the live. But go
Okay.
into the chat and find him and read what he said. It's important.
All
What
right.
was his name?
Thank you.
Russ Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
About it.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, honey. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is for a state of bliss, and she asked, just how's the outlook for the summer? So it's time to get out there and have a vacation, guys.
Mhm.
So we all have great optimism and hope for the near future, and that's that's true. It's righteous to have that. Okay. However, things are about to maybe get a little bit uncomfortable this fall and winter. So take some time, get to the beach, try to take some time off, put away your phones, and
Mhm.
try to get yourself some balance. Get yourself like really well grounded and rested during the summertime, because look, we have justice and the Eight of Swords. So things are going to be really ramping up, bringing justice back to
Mhm.
Earth.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
that's might be uncomfortable for a while. We might go through an uncomfortable stage coming this fall and into the winter.
Right.
So that means you should do a little bit of prepping too, for that. All right.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it'll be difficult to get to the store and get the things that you need. So I would have, some things stored up for when times are possibly going to be a little bit difficult during
Right.
that time.
Yeah.
Right.
We will have a lot of transitions happening.
Mhm.
So, as things fall apart, and I do believe a lot of that will happen this summer,
Right.
then there will be things that need to be rebuilt, and a lot of them are, but there will be holes here and there,
Mhm.
so it's not going to be absolutely perfect.
Right.
And remember to attract what you want,
Mhm.
but also it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of padding for things.
Mhm.
Well, all these here changes that go along with, I don't know if anybody's paid attention in the past, 4 or 5 weeks. But even the Vatican is putting out information saying that they are preparing us because they care about us, that extraterrestrials are real, that we
Hmm.
will see lights and stars move in the sky, and trying to say we'll even see apparitions and ghosts and this demon face and stuff like this here. And that's because they're trying to prepare us. But the other side of that is to put those ideas into your head so that you will manifest it yourself. So you need to let that go, and be on your guard and always have the armor of God, knowing that you are correct going forwards with the love of God. But even the Vatican is trying to put these ideas into our head so that we will manifest it for them. And that would cause some kind of chaos. Okay. And also on the ghost sightings. And a higher number of UFOs have been sighted in the past few weeks. I would suggest everybody go over and check out That's Impossible channel, because he had been having some phenomenal people sending clips to him about even just groups of UFOs, all over the different places of the world, of this inside the dome here. So that's very fascinating. I would definitely check that out. And Alex Collier has also been talking, because I agree with what he was saying, because I got pretty much the same information, and that the reset is very close at our door, and it should be happening, sooner than we think. And even my higher self told me that by the end of this year, our election is not going to be what we think it is. It's going to be very different, because now we got the majority of Americans that are waking up and saying, this shit's not going to happen again. We're taking control. And that's going to change things. But God's also let me know that next year is going to be like no other before. It will be our catapult, because they're already bringing out these first generation med beds, these healing chambers, this advanced technology with the quantum computers and stuff like this here. So if that's already here now, imagine what's going to be here next year. So things are going to change. It might seem like a little roller coaster ride and stuff like that there. But I also got to see the change that whenever me and Scott was talking the last time, he was telling me about these trucks, these army trucks and stuff like this here that were transporting and moving around and stuff like this here. Why was there so many of them and stuff like that? Well, there is a lot of these trucks and stuff. And what my higher self has showed me is that a lot of the gold that was stolen from all these countries is being returned, or has been returned. And that's what's going to help with this
Oh,
reset. That's how they're going to back their money with gold, is because they got their gold back. Okay.
Yeah.
But with the truck thing that you was talking about, Scott, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what he was referring to, as you were seeing that. And that's what God showed me, that's what all these trucks and stuff were used, was to transport, and trains, planes, and trucks, planes, and trains have returned gold to its countries. So, and that's where its rightful owner is. It was taken from them as in more in blackmail scenarios, but it has been returned to them to help these countries be rich, like we're fixing to be in our country with this reset for everybody. So this is going to be a major deal. But until we get to that point, it will be a little bit of a bumpy ride. So be prepared if you have to have something extra, just stay in your heart to the best that you can, and stay focused on the positive. Okay.
Yeah. Because you create what you want. So remember that.
Absolutely.
So Sissy's asking about her knee. And I get it's a shadow, so it's soul shadow. So ask your soul and your angels to go and deal with that shadow, because it's had an issue in another parallel with the knee.
Right.
And that's your signal to deal with the shadow. So if you guys have a sudden ache or pain, ask, is this a shadow? And have your soul deal with it and say, you must deal with it. Sometimes the soul doesn't want to deal with it because it's not very fun, but we need to all, be firm about it. Our souls need to deal with any of their shadows.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
will there be a blackout, and how long will the period last? I want to talk about the blackout. 3 days of
Not
dark,
very long.
10 days of dark. Yeah.
I see it as very quick, really. And it'll depend on where you're at. At 3 to 6 days. And it'll be rolling for most places.
Right.
Are you talking about a power outage?
I'm talking about a power outage. So that would be a rolling power outage.
Right.
And also there might be some kind of like information blackout
Right.
too, where there's only one channel you can watch or something.
So the 3 days of darkness, the sky going black, the sun going black, and these horror stories that you can't go out of your house because there's going to be demons roaming the streets and all.
Yeah.
No.
That was another timeline, I think.
That's another timeline. Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
if you're heading on that timeline, I suggest have fun, take pictures, and get you a survival bag or something. But I want to give a shout. Hey, Dana, I seen your thingy here, my friend. So
Yeah, I don't think anybody that's on that timeline is watching the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I've got what is it, like Google Maps on my phone, and I got a message from. It says your timeline is changing, and then you have to do something now.
That's funny.
Yes,
Wow.
Of course, they're talking about the travel one, but still, I mean, that sentence to come like that was pretty
The
cool.
words, yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Dana.
Yeah.
Is that Dana
Okay.
from Fertility 2 or
Yeah.
from?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's our beautiful friend. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes.
Love you, Dana.
I love you, Dana.
We
Have fun,
do. We
my
love
friend.
you. We can't wait to see you. We're going to see you soon.
That's right. We'll have
So
to get
let's
together and
see.
do a round table like this here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So Sissy. Okay, so she sent you a thing.
Where is it?
What was that? Okay, so okay.
Yeah, I don't really see another question. I probably missed some.
Let me make sure I don't have any in my coffees.
Give us a popcorn question. Let it just pop up.
Yes.
Well, I do know that the energies are changing and we can all feel it. Even I myself feel I want to say a surge of energy, because even with the songs and stuff that I'm doing, those are my words. So I mean, they're coming. God is flowing this stuff through me. And then it's like I hear it before I do it, and it's like I can remember it. And there is that experience that people have been talking about. Well, I don't remember things. You will. When you start remembering these things, I mean, I really am proud and surprised at myself that these words are coming out of me, but that's the energy that's coming to me. And because I allow it and I accept it, and God says, well, this is something that you're good at. I've always been pretty good about writing poetry and stuff like that. But then, God said, well, you can do it into music. And I was like, how am I going to do that? But then, it's like now I can remember that I've done this before. I'm not no pro or professional, but I'm starting to have that. I've done this before. I can remember it. I can hear these songs. I can see my other version of myself that actually sang these songs, the one that I'm going towards. I didn't know that she was a singer. God surprised me on that part. But I mean, but it's like it's flowing through me, and that energy is producing this stuff. So the same thing with all of you. That energy is coming to you. Desires is what God gives you to guide you.
Love that one.
Oh yeah, this is so good.
That
Picture
picture's
volume
so
up. This is so
awesome.
good. Yeah,
This is
raise
the
up the picture. There
This
you
is a
go.
perfect segue for this next song from Alisa.
Yes, it's for
It's
my friends, my cousins, my family.
Carlos and Angie Lyrens. I love the art, by the way. So let's play this
Oh,
and have
they're
a
so fun.
All right, mute.
Carlos and Benji at the city park. Lyron shows up, looking so sharp. Carlos and Benji. James, looking for a meal out of town. A Lyron with a spaceship heading to a store. Milk is what I need in cosmic drinks, that's for sure. I got cups and my wife is gone. I need milk, what have I done? Milk's the mission, no, we have to run. I need milk, what have I done? Carlos and Angie ride with a Lyron, looking for milk in a ship that's jiving, listening to cotton jams, looking for milk out of town. Through the galaxies, faster than light. Carlos and Angie, what a sight. I got cubs and my wife is gone. I need milk, what have I done? Milk's the mission, no, we have to run. I need milk, what have I done? Milk's the mission, no, we have to run. I need milk, what have I done? I need milk, no delay. Passing stars in the Milky Way. Carlos and Angie ride with the louder, looking for milk in a ship that's jiving, listening to the cosmic jams, looking for milk outside of town. Milk's the mission we can't delay, passing stars in the Milky Way. I got cubs and my wife is gone. I need milk, what have I done? Milk's a mission we have to run. I need milk, what have I done? I need milk, no delay, passing stars in the Milky Way.
So much fun. It makes me wonder where the mama Lyran is.
It's,
You're
you know, to
muted.
have a
You're
sense of
muted.
humor about the Lyrans and UFOs and stuff like this here, you know, that's one of the reasons to put it out there. But the other ones is to remind us about the 5D coming, you know, and the heartfelt things that God wants us to hear. So I'm really am proud and privileged to be able and honored to be able to present them to my brothers and sisters, because the stories that we've been told about UFOs and stuff has been pretty much scary. People are not willing to, but whenever you can put a little spin of humor on it, you know, people can listen to it and they're going along with it and they feel comfortable. And even in the other songs, they're repeating the words that are positive. So that's very helpful to them and what God has told me. So I'm really glad that it's all, you know, turning out pretty good. It sounds good too. It's got I love the humor of it. So, so
Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. And you learn so much more through fun. You're
mhm.
muted, Scott.
I said I love the mandolin picking in that song.
Mhm.
And I we've got we've got 180 people watching right now, and I'd like to first off, if this is the second or third time you've visited us here during one of our lives, and you're not subscribed, it would really help me a lot if you went ahead and subscribe and hit the notification
Mhm.
so you get all of them. I don't put out a whole lot of videos, so you're not going to get spammed with a whole bunch of videos, but you don't want to miss these lives with my guests. They're so amazing.
Right.
And on that
Mhm.
note, you mentioned Alex Collier, Alisa,
Uh-huh.
and I believe that you and he are cut from the same cloth, so to speak.
Well,
And
thank you.
I've been a great admirer of Alex since
Mhm.
the first time I got a computer of my own back around 2007. He's an amazing man. And what I'm asking is everybody who's listening to this now live or in the replay, send out if you can find a way. I don't know if Alex has like a website or something where you can
He
contact
does.
him and
Yeah.
and because I don't know him personally, and I would love to have him on with Alisa
Mhm. I
uh,
would
to
love to meet
to
him.
to talk to everybody on my
Yeah.
channel, and I would love to meet him. It would be,
Yeah.
like meeting one of your favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
So you guys could help with that. Let's start a
Absolutely.
campaign. Everybody, tell Alex or ask Alex if he could come on, and how honored we'd be to have him here. That would be
That's right.
amazing.
Absolutely, because I would love to meet that gentleman. I think that we would have one heck of a conversation with the knowledge that he has, and to share it with ours. That would be fascinating. And the information that he was given the other night, I would definitely go check out his last YouTube clip, and that's a recent one too. That all of this stuff is flowing forwards now. It's here now. It's going to expose itself, and all of the things that I have said, he gave me confirmation, and it made me feel good because I've been talking about the same things. So now that we know that there's other people that's getting their confirmations, that shows even more that this is flowing to us so much easier and a lot faster now. So, but even Alex said, prepare, because it's happening. So
It is. Yeah.
mhm.
So
And
I don't see a question from Frank, but he did send you 1111, which is
Yeah, that
super awesome.
oh that must be Frank Schultz.
well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he did
Hey
ask
Frank.
about the Nasara and Jasara part of Ascension. It's very helpful because it's going to help
Yeah.
us get projects going. And that is part of the Ascension, is to get all of these things done so that we can get our brothers and sisters inside of these med beds and, get people that are homeless in some place to help everybody. And that helps the Ascension all the way around. That because if you start doing things and people who didn't believe it, and then they can see that what we're saying is true and it's happening, trust me, they're going to come a running. Okay. And then that gives them the opportunity to work on their shadow self and their dark souls of the night so that they can raise their vibrations, and eventually they get to go into the med beds as well. Because the whole thing is to leave no man behind. But it's got to start somewhere. It's already in the making now. So when do our group, Honey, me, and everybody, walks on the stage and do our part? That's coming up really soon. And then we're going to take care of everybody else as it trickles down. It's like a domino effect. So
Alisa, the last time you and
Yeah.
I spoke, you talked about how our pets, our cats and dogs, and our animal families are going to be taken care of in this new earth that we're coming into, and
right.
and that's wonderful. But that's taken away my humanitarian project that I plan to do, because over here in Southeast Asia, the street cats and dogs is was one of the hardest things for me to get used to, um, culturally, coming over here and seeing all the suffering, and it's just horrible out there.
There will
Um,
be a short period of time where we have rescues and
Yeah.
things for animals and
Right.
things for people, and then learning centers and communities and
Mhm.
all of that stuff. But eventually we'll
Right.
be like moving forward, 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 and it'll be just constantly changing. But
Right.
everybody's going to be abundant.
Right.
So that's going to be the main thing. Everybody's going to have whatever they need to survive.
Right.
And they're not going to be worried about survival anymore, which is going to open up people's perception.
Mhm.
Because once you don't worry about that anymore, then everything changes. Then you can do the things that you came here for.
Mhm.
So,
can I just take a minute
Right.
to say hello
Yeah.
to Sandy? Oops.
Hello.
ah,
Hello. Hello.
she's
Hey
adorable.
Yeah.
Sandy.
So you'll get your opportunity to do your project, because I mean this
Oh
stuff is
yeah.
not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a progression, a little bit more every day, every week, every month, and therefore those things that are outside of what we're doing, we will still need to maintain these animals, these people, everything else until we can get them over to this side here. So your projects will still be in play, at the beginning of this, but eventually it will come to where everything is, better for all.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
just going to take a little bit of time. So,
I have very
Yeah.
clear images in my head of these sanctuaries, where there are all these cats and dogs who don't have families in all of Southeast Asia. And there's just going to be places where, they can live out the rest of their lives free and free of pain
Mhm.
and suffering.
mhm, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So just
that's
hold on,
that's
my
what I
brothers
want
and
to do.
sisters. Keep flowing forwards. That's all I can say. You don't have to worry about a 24-hour day. You only, and really, you have to deal with a 10 or 12, maybe a 14-hour day. So you only need to get through those hours, not the whole 24, So just take it an hour at a time. and just try to stay as positive as you can. Got me tongue-tied.
Yeah. So somebody in here, I can't remember who, Key Ross is asking what starseed family I come from.
Hmm.
And it feels like one that I don't know. I think you've been Tartarian, that came in as well, but you've also been a starseed, like an ET that I don't know the name of.
Interesting.
So it feels kind of rare. And maybe it's not pronounceable,
Hmm.
but I don't, have a name for them, but they feel very regal, um, knowledgeable, and like a small group is what it feels like. So hopefully that helps.
Yes, it should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Debbie
Okay.
Thompson. I'm sorry. She has a question here, but that was like my first girlfriend's name back when I was 16. Just Debbie, is that you? Did you go to O'Galley High School back in the early 80s? If so, I'd really like to hear from you because I've wondered what happened to that girl ever since. Anyways, she says, so I'm going to read your question, Debbie, for that reason. Uh, I was sitting outside and turned my head, and a 10-inch black crap 10, I don't know if that's 10 foot, 10 inch, 10-inch
Probably
black
10 foot.
flew over my shoulder. Right behind was a scarab chasing it. Scarab's a beetle, for those who don't know. What was this, and why did I see it? That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it feels like it came through a portal to me. It feels like it came from a parallel, and it was very like more of a polarized parallel. And it didn't even acknowledge where it was, and it kind of went out another one pretty
And
quickly.
and the scarab was like its physical body in this plane. So the first thing itself, it wasn't a ship, it was more of an entity. Am I right, honey? The 10-inch
Yeah,
black.
a mechanical, but I mean, there was a being in there, but it was kind of it almost feels like what do you call, like a robotic thing, but it was a being.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that scarab was attached to it somehow, like it was part of it.
They were together.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it wasn't the best relationship.
that's right. In fact, yeah, there was that
Like, there you
that
go.
the beetle was maybe trying to get some payback for something that it had done to him.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
it was kind of, I just got this image in my mind, the Beatles going, "Come here, you son of a gun. I'm gonna get you for what you did to me."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Feels like it was gonna bite. Um, yeah, so if you're from a star family like soul groups and stuff, there's so many. So
Yeah.
just start asking like what is my frequency maybe?
Mhm.
What's the frequency of my star family? And start recognizing that. How does it feel in my body? So that you can start to find your soul group. Because I can't even imagine knowing all the names of them.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure my higher self has blocked that off because like I'd be making lists and stuff. So
Yeah, and I resonated with when you said that they're not pronounceable in our language.
Some of
Yeah.
them, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Stacy Marr has a question. On my camera, at a good distance outside, I have a video of a bright light that seems to fall from the sky. What was that?
ooh.
Feels like an orb.
Mm.
Family is what comes in. So that was one of her family.
You beat me by 1 second. I was just about to say, I was just about to say it was a family connection.
Yeah,
Um,
letting you know that's why you've seen it, is so that you can connect with that. Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
It was not past life, concurrent life, family, but it was really there to send love too to you.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, that was from family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And think about what you
Honey, you
felt
do
when.
it so often. You
Yeah.
you beat me to the to the punch so often. It's
Oh,
like takes me a little while to put the cards down and then interpret them, and you're getting your download or your
Yeah,
messages. I can't keep up.
it's funny. So
anyway.
Vivian is asking if she saw a gnome.
Mhm.
She
Oh,
said it was all black and it was running from her. And I get yes. And
Mhm.
it was just like an interdimensional. So it didn't show up with color, but normally it would have color. But
oh,
you
okay.
saw like the shadow, like almost like you were looking at somebody's shadow, like you saw the
Mhm.
impression of it and
Mhm.
you totally freaked him out. So he ran away. So it's not any easier for the elementals to see us than it is for us to see them. But yeah, like it startles them as well, I feel like a lot of times.
Okay, let
Yeah.
me check.
What are you
I heard a
doing?
coffee come through.
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I've got something here in my coffees, and I don't know who this is from. They didn't put their name in here. So, she says, "Good evening, Alisa, Honey, and Scott. Could you please check how does my financial health look in the next 3 months?" And before anybody says anything, I have something to say about this.
Okay.
Um, by the way, put your name in the chat, whoever sent this, so I can thank you for it. Um, so I've began doing professional tarot reading about 2 years ago, and how are my finances is one of the most common questions I would get. And in the very beginning, I would get, your typical answers. It was either this or that, or good or bad, or whatever. And then suddenly something changed. And consistently to the point where I could predict it. Somebody would ask me about their finances. Hello, Kitty in the background. Somebody would ask me about their finances, and I would I wouldn't get any physical cards at all. So no pentacles, nothing about business. It was always about spirituality, ascension, and transcending the material. And the overall message was you're not meant to be worried about those kinds of things right now. Focus on your ascension and
Right.
focus on your spiritual development.
Right.
Suddenly that
Mhm.
changed. About 2 weeks ago, the past four, I think, private readings I've done where people have asked me about finances, I got one guy told me he had something like $20,000 worth of silver, like hard silver. And I got that he was going to become very wealthy very soon. And it's been like that with every reading I've done so far. Now all of a sudden, physical wealth is turning up. So something has changed. Recently, we just heard about banks now being given the ability to print their own money backed by gold. Alisa just told us about all the gold that's being shipped out all over the place, preparing us
It
for that.
has been.
So, and I can tell you, my cards have backed this up. Something recently has shifted in the
Mhm.
world of finances. Now, that being said, uh, I'm not sure who this person is, but how do their finances look in the next 3 months?
Well, I would say just, I think that everything is going to turn out to our benefit. But by staying
Mhm.
focused on just that, it takes you away from right here and right now. You can't enjoy your day because you're so focused on that. You can't have fun because you're so focused on that. You're constantly worried because you're focused on that. Instead of being right here in the now and enjoying what you have right now, knowing not just a belief, but a knowing that you're flowing forwards to it, you know, and take the stress off of yourself and just have a good day. Just stay relaxed. I know there's a lot of people that are having concerns about this or is going through some struggles and stuff like this here. But the best advice that I can give you is be happy with what you have and be happy in the now, you know, and stay positive knowing that you're going to it. It's like you're waiting to get on a plane or a boat to go on a trip. You know it's going to happen. You just have to be patient to get to that point and, you know, to stay calm and stay positive. So, yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
stress how important what Alisa just said right now, and this is something that I've been saying for decades. You have to get past the point of belief and faith and knowing. You should all know by now that this is for real and this is happening.
Right.
But I got to show you the cards I just pulled for this. I pulled 3 cards. They're all major arcana. Something big is coming. Okay.
That's right.
So first off, I got the moon in the past. Now, this is the type of card that would come up so often as the outcome when people were asking me before. But we have total collapse of the current system replaced by something completely new, something that has never been seen before in human history.
Right.
Okay. And
I
and
love
so
that.
so you
So it
get
was,
ready, people.
it,
It's going to be big.
yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Margarita's the one that asked the question, and I had actually answered it a long time ago in the chat. So finances will be abundant. There may be a few hiccups, but it will be amazing. And I put at Margarita relax, and it will be easier.
Yes. And
So it's all about your attitude.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the kitty cat, her name is Willa. If everybody,
Cool.
you know, say all for the sweet kitty cat. Her name is Willa.
Is that the old one you have?
No, she's actually about 2 years old. I just got her fixed. Thank God. She
Okay,
was making me
she looks
crazy.
young.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, because God says, you know, I'm going to reflect your heart, and then I'm going to show you what's in your heart around you so you can deal with it and stuff like this here. And the more I thought about that, and then this cat for the past 2 years, I mean, she wasn't fixed, so she was like constantly in heat. And I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? I mean, if this is a reflection of me, what are you trying to tell me? You know? So I'm like, oh no, I got to fix that. So I got her fixed. And but I didn't understand, and I finally got an answer, like what was it that was, you know, God was trying to show me, and it's the longing. It's not that she was in heat; it's the longing of trying to want something or need something, to desire or something, and crying out for that desire. And whenever I realized this, it was easier for me to accept that, you know, God's already bringing it to me, and whenever I stopped stressing out about it, you know, because constantly thinking about it, you can't be in it now. And things started to flow a lot easier. And then I came to the realization I'm going to get a little less fixed. So now I'm happy.
Nope. So, is there anything else?
Melissa's cat, she used to have one named Sputnik. I like that.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey's puppy's having seizures. It feels like there's something in the food or something they're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Something they're licking or touching or
yeah.
And be careful with pesticides. If you use pesticides, I
was
had
gonna
an
just say
accident
that pesticide, yeah.
with one of my dogs, and it was I think it shortened her life, and that was really sad. So
yeah.
let's see.
Okay.
Well, so that I can see on there, and I don't have anything else on here.
Looks like we're pretty good.
Yeah. Other than to remind everybody to go listen to the songs and music. Please share,
Yes.
and share.
Yeah, I almost never do that thing, like, share, subscribe. I just don't feel like it's my place to tell people that, you know. But it does help. So
yeah, the music does help. It helps with the mental state. It gives you good vibes, gives you good sound, definitely gives you good words, and it motivates you, you know. So definitely share.
you know, when I was thinking about doing the show today, I was thinking about our cats. And Alisa, how old is your oldest cat?
She's 17.
And
That's Heifer. Yeah.
mine's about 16. And
Mhm.
honey, you have a cat named Lenny, right?
Yeah, I have Lenny and Madonna. So Madonna is older, and her name was La Donna, and I was like, no, that can't be the name. So I
Yeah.
changed it to Madonna.
Okay.
Madonna.
And she's older. I'd say she's probably 11, 10 or 11. And definitely more cranky. And Lenny's probably 2 or 3.
So here's the crazy thing too about Lenny. I got, I adopted a cat about 2 years ago, and my wife wanted to call him Leo or Lion or something like that, and I'm like, nah, but we'll take the nickname for Leonard, Lenny. So I named my cat Lenny, and then right after that is when I met Honey, and she said, like, I got a cat named Lenny. No way. I mean, seriously, what are the freaking odds? And Lenny's about 3 years old too.
Nice. Nice. Well, I have
Wild.
We're not going to do it today, but next time I want to do a show our cats where we
okay.
Okay.
because
I'll
I
try
want
and
to
get a
introduce.
picture.
Well,
Yeah.
can you get your cat
I'll
to?
try and bring him in. I don't really allow him in here, but
Oh,
I'll
okay,
try and
all
bring
right,
him in.
No. Well,
Maybe just for the show, and then I'll kick him out.
that's
yeah,
right. Well, I have
because
one.
my
Her name is Trouble, and I definitely wouldn't mind, showing everybody what she looks like. She's a lilac Siamese, and
Oh,
she is
beautiful.
Siam.
13. Yeah.
There's
So
another connection. By the way,
there you go.
I had two Siamese cats growing up, which I thought later on when I ended up living in Siam, Thailand, the ancient name of Thailand, that I had these Siamese cats, and I have this connection with cats, the tiger there, and tigers
Mhm.
are indigenous to Thailand. Um, but yeah, I don't know why. I just felt like we had to share our cats, and I have a super special cat. The old one, she's 16 or 17. She has a funny name. I named her Mia Noi, which in Thai language, that's Thai for a mistress, a man who's got a girlfriend, and it's his mistress. And sometimes I go out calling my cat Mia Noi.
Yeah.
Thai people hear me calling me. Um, but the special thing about this cat was where I got her was about 250 miles north of here. It was a small town called Chinat, not China, Chinat. And I used to go to this noodle shop to eat all the time. And this one mama cat would always come out to visit me. And one day she brought her babies. She had three babies, three boys and one female. And the female cat just always came out to greet me. And I didn't want a cat, I didn't need a cat, but for some reason I felt compelled to adopt this cat. And then later on, I was there eating my noodles, and the lady who ran the place, she goes, "Oh, there's her father," and she points over to a cat, and she's speaking Thai, by the way. She goes, she goes, "Oh, that cat's egg," and she says, "Meow ba." Ba means crazy, and meow is cat. So I thought she was just saying it's a crazy cat. And so I take my kitten home, and this kitten acted differently from any cat I've ever had. I mean, she would come at me as if she was a ferocious wild animal. And then later on, I figured it out because my Thai was not so great back then, that the word for wolf is ma ma uh anyways, crazy dog. Okay. And then I figured out, oh, she wasn't saying that's a crazy cat. She's saying that's a wild cat. So it turns out that my cat's father was at least half, maybe full jungle cat. I had to look it up. There's a species of cat that lives in the jungles in Thailand that looks like a house cat, and they're diurnal. They hunt during the day, and they're wild cats in the jungle. My cat's half wild cat, and that explained number one why she's insanely smart. I've seen her back down packs of dogs, she was cornered one time by packs of dogs, and they were afraid to attack her. She can open doors. Anyways, I just wanted to give a mention to Mia. She's very special to
That's
me.
awesome.
There you go.
I love it.
All right, guys. Well, I know I said I would stay on later with you, Alisa, after, because honey, you're usually gone by now. It's getting late there. I can see it getting dark there.
Yeah, it's late
Uh,
here too.
yeah, and
It's 2
so
hours later at Elisa's.
I think this is might be a good time to wrap things up and say good night.
Okay.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, it's been great. I'm so happy that we all got to get together. So it was a lot of fun.
Me too.
Yep. And
I
thank you
re-
for this song.
Yeah. And thank all my brothers and sisters for coming and showing up here this evening and checking out everything that we had to say. And as always, my brothers and sisters, please remember you are everything that you see, no exception. So be kind to it. You know.
Beautiful.
Sorry, I forgot to record this. Usually I record these and I put them on my Patreon channel for people to watch commercial free, and so I forgot to do that. But anyways, thank you, ladies, very much for joining me. I had a great time tonight. I kind of feel like this is one of my best shows ever. I didn't screw anything
That
up
was
this
fun.
time,
Yeah.
and
And being able to
and
see the questions and the thingy was very helpful.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad you got that figured out. All right,
Yeah, we
so
all have blonde moments, so you'll get
we'll
over it.
we'll do this again, maybe in 2 weeks or whenever. And hey, you guys put that message out to Alex Collier if you can.
Absolutely.
If we could wrangle him on here,
That's right.
that would just be
Tell him he's
amazing.
got to meet Alisa. Say, Alisa's looking for you, dude. So
And
Yes.
fanboy over here.
that's right.
Okay, so good night, everybody,
Yes,
and
yes.
see you next time.
So,
Thank you, ladies,
All
very
right.
much.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.